Hi, and welcome to your energy art reading for the 10th to the 16th of June. My name's Vicky Paul, and I use art to channel energy to bring clarity, guidance, growth, and well-being. And these are general readings, so please just take what resonates. And before we jump in, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed and for your likes and comments. It's lovely to hear that the readings are connecting with you. And also, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again because it's happening to me. When I show you some of the symbols and the words and the energy that comes through, it's going to resonate generally, but actually what happens is through the sort of unfolding week, you will see or hear or come across the symbols. And I would love to find out what you came across and in what context. So you can just pop them into the comments. So anyway, let's jump in. The first image that came through was, this is a window. And you can see outside the window, there's beautiful sunshine. There's lots of lovely green foliage. And for me, this is all about, when we look out of the window, this is about the symbology of looking out to our future. And we have absolutely got the power to envisage what we see through this window. And if we are feeling bright and bold and courageous and happy, then we're going to see a beautiful future full of, vibrancy, vitality, growth. But if we are feeling blocked or negative or just not in a great space, when we look out that window, we're going to see storm clouds and bad weather. So this is just a gentle reminder that your future is very much in your hands, and it is so much about just becoming more joyful, becoming more present, becoming more growth mindset, seeing the beauty in life, and actually using nature to help you do this, because that then allows us to look through the window, to look the future of life, and it's kind of rosy, because it's the sort of the phrase that's coming up is about smelling the roses. And this is also about enjoying the present moment. So many of us spend so much time worrying about the future and reminiscing about the past that we have to spend more time in the present moment as best we can. Nature is a wonderful way to do that. So this is also a wee reminder just to get out into nature a bit more. The next image that came through was a stork. That old-fashioned image of a stork carrying in a baby. So for some of you, this will absolutely resonate, that there will be babies coming into your life next week, either your own or through friends and family. But I also feel that this is much more to do with excitement and something new coming into your life. Babies bring a lot of joy. They're new beginnings. And I feel that this is something new that's going to fly, being that it's a bird, fly into your life this week, that's going to bring you a lot of joy. Now, this doesn't need to be anything massive. A baby is also, a very big life-changing, not experience, that's the wrong word, but it's massively life-changing having a child. But it's more to do with the energy and the sort of new beginnings that the child energy represents, or the baby energy represents. But when you think about a baby in terms of its physical size and its experience on life versus an adult, you and I, then they're very, they're small in comparison. So this is, from a symbolic point of view, even if it's something small that comes into your life this week, it's going to bring you a lot of joy, but it's going to, and I think because it's flying in, with the stork and the image of the stork, it's almost like you're going to see it, because the old image of the stork was the stork brought the baby in and then kind of dropped the baby in the bundle, into the family. So this is something that you are going to almost see or feel coming in. It's not going to be a complete shock. It's not going to be a complete surprise. It's going to slowly build up, but it's going to be a very welcome surprise. And there's going to be a lot of joy, a lot of new energy, a lot of vitality. And that kind of bringing together, a new baby brings people and families together. And it's just there's the sort of expectation of new life and what that brings. So it could well be that some of the energies that are coming in this week for you are just that first sort of sneaky peek, small offering of what new life means to you. And I feel for so many of us that life is going to feel new, and you're going to feel refreshed and revitalized and renewed. And there's going to be a lot of new beginnings in lots of different areas of our life. And it's baby steps. You know, that's why it's a stork and it's a baby bundle. It is baby steps. There's nothing massively transformative about this energy. It's just something that's lovely and small and just brings you that lovely, cozy new baby feeling. It's lovely energy. And also new babies, you know, they're the kind of the physical manifestation of the ultimate creativity, which is to give birth and you know, bring a child into this world. So there'll be a bit of a creative element around that. So that could well be tied into some form of creativity, but also it's the energy of what do you want to create in your life? What are you creating? The next image that came through was of a fried egg randomly. I'm just going to see if you can actually see that. So it's a bit of white. I use oil pastels. So this is actually, believe it or not, a fried egg, which I kind of got a fried egg. What the hell is that all about? However, you've got to trust what comes through. And I feel you'll notice that the yolk is not broken. It's still intact. And, you know, there's a sort of saying, you know, when you crack something open, it felt like the energy was of something being cracked open and cooked. So I feel that for some of you, the sort of symbology and the metaphor for this sort of fried egg energy is that you are literally cracking something open. You know, eggs are very nourishing. They're full of protein, and they're sustainable energy. So it feels that you are cracking something opening. And when we talk about the, you know, cooking, it means that you are building and growing and maintaining and really nurturing that energy. And I feel that this is something tied in with this sort of the baby and the new energy. You know, eggs are, you know, I want to say it's kind of, I've got this image of a chicken, you know, sort of laying an egg, and it's this, you know, the golden egg. It's this sort of wonderful vitality, something special, something life-giving that the energies really represent this week. And I want to say from a fried egg point of view, and this is just coming into my mind, years and years and years ago when I was a lot younger, I used to do sort of amateur dramatics, and on a random audition, I had to pretend to be a fried egg. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is it feels that the energy, and the reason I'm being given that memory is that some of you are going to feel a wee bit uncomfortable at this, because I felt so uncomfortable about, I mean, how do you become a fried egg? And I had to, you know, embody what a fried egg was, and the kind of spurting of the fat and the kind of bubbling and all the kind of movement of the egg as it started to solidify with the heat. And it feels that for some of you, this new energy is going to feel a wee bit awkward and a wee bit uncomfortable. And you're just not quite know what you're going to do with it. And actually, you're going to feel a bit outside of yourself and not in the familiar. So I feel that this energy is going to take you out of your comfort zone. The next image that I got was a tape measure. So this is, again, a tape measure. You can't really see the white of the oil pastel. And I feel that some of you are measuring something or someone up this week. Something's getting measured up this week. And I mean, yes, this could be to do with dressmaking, but I feel this is much more to do with, do they have the measure of you? Do you have the measure of someone else? Are they measuring up to your standards? Are you expecting too much from your standards? So there's lots of questions around how do you or they measure up? And this could be to do with personal relationships, but also in work environment. And I'm also sensing with this energy, because there's kind of movement in it, you know, and as we go, you know, when you measure something, the numbers go up the way and things get bigger. I feel that the more that you tap into this energy, the more clarity you're going to get on whether somebody measures up, whether a situation measures up. You know, if some of you are looking for a new job, or you're seeking a relationship, or you're looking to make changes in your life, how do those changes how will those changes measure up to your life? You know, what do you have in your life at the moment that you are loving and enjoying? How does this new person, this new thing, this new opportunity fit into that? So the measuring tape, you know, I get this sense of dressmaking, and does the item of clothing fit? So that's very much about does this situation, does this person, does this new job fit with who you are now? And it may well be that there's part of this sort of transformation and this new energy that's coming through is going to make you question what fits in with your life, and are people, places, situations, circumstances, do they still fit with who you want to become and who you are becoming with this new energy that's been brought in by the stork? I then got the energy of, now this is actually, believe it or not, a van. It's a removal van. I had this image of this big removal van. So again, for some of you, you will be moving this week. There will be relocation happening, or you're thinking about it. This is an energy that's been around for a few weeks. But I also want to say, you know, with a van, you fill it with products, furniture. It gets, you know, it's full of stuff, full of stock, full of whatever it is that it's carrying, and it transports it from one place to the next. And I also want to say that I feel that whilst that will be relevant, sort of, you will be moving from one place to the next, or there's movement happening in your life, and it's big movement because it's a big van, and it feels like you're packing a whole load of stuff up and moving on. Now that could be physically moving on, it could be energetically moving on, it could be spiritually moving on. So I feel for some of you, you are moving on from something or someone or somewhere. But I also feel, we spoke about baggage in last week's energy art reading. I feel that this is almost linked into that, in the respect that you've unpacked all that baggage, you've started to process it, and it's getting put into the van and it's getting ready to drive off into wherever it is you're sending it. I'm going to come back to that because I feel I haven't quite fully downloaded what's in that, because there's doors there on the side, and I feel like these doors are going to open. So just leave that with me till that filters. The next energy that came through was a fan, you know, sort of old-fashioned fan. And I had this image of two things. For some of you, you're going to be hot this week. You're going to feel hot. There's going to be sweats, and that could be because of where you live from a climate point of view. It could be a hormonal thing. So you're going to be sort of fanning yourself. You're going to be feeling the heat. Also, around that energy of feeling the heat, some of you are going to be under pressure. You're going to be put on the spotlight, and you're going to be feeling a wee bit under pressure. So it could well be that there's some nerves, or that sort of embarrassed, you know, when you get embarrassed, you kind of flush, or you're under pressure, you start to flush, and you're like, oh God, I'm feeling the heat. It feels that for some of you, that's going to be happening this week. But I also feel that this is the energy. I mean, fans, ladies used to use fans back in the day to flirt and communicate and express their interest in a sort of subtle feminine way to gentlemen back in the days. And I've just got this image of Bridgerton and all the ladies with their fans. And there's actually a language in using of the fans. So dependent on how open the fan was, or where you placed it, or where in your face you covered. So it feels that there's going to be something very sort of formal or traditional, very feminine, almost kind of flirty communication going on this week. And the fact that this fan also looks a bit like a shell, it kind of feels that this energy is, for some of you, you're coming out your shell this week. And that's why I'm feeling this kind of flirty energy where you're actually feeling a wee bit more confident to express yourself, your desires, what it is that you want. It might well be that you are, if you are looking for love, or you're looking to rekindle the romance in a relationship, then you are, instead of just being brazen and just, you know, saying how you feel, it's going to be a wee bit more of a nuanced dance, and you're going to have a bit more flirty playfulness with it. So yeah, enjoy that. That's a lovely energy. I then got the energy of just an umbrella. So this is very much about, you know, umbrellas protect us from the rain. So it feels that for some of you, you're going to need that wee bit of extra protection this week, and it's going to be there for you. So you carry that umbrella with you, you carry it on you. So if ever there's going to be some challenging energy coming your way, you have that umbrella. It feels, because it's an umbrella and it's rain, water is very emotional for me. So it could well be that there's some emotional energy being sort of thrown at you or placed upon you. And it's, yeah, just to let you know that you've got that protection of the umbrella. The next energy that I got was a fox. So some of you will literally be seeing foxes, whether you live in the countryside or the city. But foxes are kind of wily, they're very clever. So I feel that this is energy about being very resourceful this week, about using that fox's energy that, I mean, foxes will find food anywhere. They are kind of scavengers. They look for things, and they're quite kind of tricky and a wee bit sneaky. So I feel that for some of you, you're going to be embodying, embracing that energy this week. And I just want to say that it feels that there's just a wee bit of a tinge of just something a wee bit too sneaky. So I just want you to be aware, if you are feeling that you are embodying and emboldened in that energy, just try not be too sneaky about what it is that you do. And it feels that for some of you, this energy is about trying to negotiate a path through either a relationship or a work situation. And there's going to be like the easy way, which is going to be the foxy, sneaky way. But I feel tying in with the fox, foxes can bite. I want to say that it's coming through that if you do that, it might come back and bite you in the bum. So just be aware that if you are looking to do things a wee bit more sneakily than you should do or you normally do, be prepared that there is an opportunity or a chance, excuse me, that particular path or that choice could come up and give you a wee nip. The final energy that I got was of, now this looks like a beetle, but it was an insect that I saw on its belly, and the belly was really soft. And I feel that this energy is very much about, for some of you, you're going to feel totally exposed this week. You're going to be, that kind of proverbial on your back, all that soft side. These insects have a hard shell, so they are protected from predators. It feels that you're going to feel very exposed this week. You're going to feel very vulnerable this week. And, I have this image of this beetle on its back and it just can't quite roll over. And it almost feels that you don't quite know how to get out of that feeling of vulnerability. But I want to say to you to just embrace that feeling of vulnerability and that feeling of being exposed, because it's coming into your life this week for a reason. And vulnerability and that sort of feeling exposed is also linked to courage. So I feel this is about opening up to and embracing what fears you have and working through that energy, because if there was no fear, what would you be capable of? What would you actually do? So this almost feels that this is about you having the courage to be less fearful, to be more trusting, to just open up to the elements, to the universe, and just, relax. And then I have this image, if you got dogs in particular, but you can tell a dog feels really safe and secure in its environment when it lies on its back, and its legs are just like wide open, its head straight back, and it's totally exposed. That's a dog that trusts and feels safe and confident in its environment. And I feel that with this, although this isn't a dog, it's an insect, I feel that it's that same kind of energy, that if you just trust in the universe and trust in the release of that fear and the opening up to that courage and that vulnerability, then in doing that, it's going to give you all the safety and confidence that you crave. So just coming back to this energy of the van, excuse me, I always seem to put it over my face. I'll put it here. There we go. It feels that this is very much about also delivering information. It feels, I'm getting the images of like an Amazon van, or one of the kind of vans that drops off all the different parcels. It's loaded, and instead of opening up the back and everything falling out, the delivery driver can open the door and just take out the parcel that they need for a particular address. And it feels that if this is all of your baggage, it feels that you're going to be unpacking it bit by bit, that some of it's going to be left somewhere. And it's almost like a sort of trail, like a breadcrumb trail. So it could well be that this is actually all of the baggage that we were talking about earlier on that was needing to be looked at and processed. It's all been packed up in this van. And actually this van is kind of on a journey through you, as it were. And you just need to open the door and unpick it, one parcel at a time, so that it doesn't become overwhelming. And I'm getting confirmation that that is what the energies are all about. If that's resonating, other than obviously if you are moving. And it also feels that this kind of feels like an old-fashioned ambulance. So I feel that there's a lot of healing going on with this particular journey and transformation and unfolding and unpacking of all these different bits of baggage and all these boxes. And I feel, because there's all this reference around moving and removal, it feels that, when we move house, we move into a new environment, a new space, there's sort of new beginnings, which again, tied in with this energy of the stork, it kind of feels related that there's an excitement attached to this as well, which is lovely. I also got, so I'm recording this on Sunday, the 9th of June for the week of the 10th to the 16th of June. And when I tuned in initially, I got the number 9. So that will mean something to you. It could well be that it's because I'm recording it on the 9th. There was 9 images came through, but it may well be that the number 9 is relevant to you. So that could well be related to a house, a date, a number if you're into numerology. And the other thing that came through when I was just tuning in was the song, that song that goes intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. I'm not doing any justice. No 10 out of 10 for my singing, but it feels that this kind of intergalactic, planetary, it's about exploration. So many of us are fascinated by the cosmos and what is beyond. But it also feels that, tied in with this kind of travel, that there's, other life out there. There's other life beyond us and the earth. And it almost feels that for some of you, it's a reminder that there is so much more life out there than you are, A, giving yourself credit for, B, open to exploring. And it almost feels that part of it is this call, which could also be tied into this energy of, movement and moving, that it's time for you to explore beyond your comfort zone, beyond your physical environment. And also this, because, it could be a physical exploration, but it could also be a sort of spiritual or emotional exploration. There's, and it's also tapping into that energy. The cosmos is a lot of it is unknown. And again, I'm just getting this sense of tying in with the fear, because for a lot of us, the unknown can be quite fearful. So I want to say that it's about just exploring and, tapping into some of that sort of space odyssey energy where, it's, I'm getting, is it Star Trek? And again, dependent on your age, this is kind of 70s and 80s. We used to watch Star Trek with my parents, and they were kind of, I can't remember what the kind of Captain Kirk's kind of opening statement always was, but it was about how they explored different planets, different cosmoses, different galaxies, to not only expand their own awareness of what is possible and what is out there, but also to learn from all of the different species and cultures that they encountered. And I feel that there's that sort of adventurous energy running through this week as well. So to just be a bit more Spock and a bit more Star Trek. Anyway, that is your energy art reading for the week of the 10th to the 16th of June. If this has resonated with you, then please do like, subscribe, and put some comments. I always love hearing if it's resonated or not. And of course, please share it with anyone who you think would be interested. I'm trying to grow the channel and grow this type of energy work. And while these are fairly basic drawings, I work with abstract art. This is one of my pieces in the background, to really tap into universal energy and bring through guidance and wisdom and understanding for whomever I'm working with. So I hope you love this kind of reading, and wishing you a great week.